Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Board of Health meeting to order at 4:41 p.m. If everyone would please rise and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. So up first on our agenda, we have Jody from, let me put my glasses on, sorry. Boards of Health Tobacco Control Alliance.
No
Nope.
Jody?
Nope, okay. So we have no Jody. I'm sure
Yep.
chaos has ensued, which is very common lately. Okay, up next is Joseph Garagno, request to ban plastic bags. If you can just come up you can come up and sit at the table. Just identify yourself and it's all you. We'll give it over.
Before I start, I just have a couple sheets to give out to each of you,
Sure.
just so you can look on with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So hello, my name's Joe Garagno. Some of you know me already. If you don't, I have been a resident of Dudley for all my life, and I want to thank the board for providing me the time to be here tonight to present an issue that I am very passionate about. And tonight I am proposing an initiative for the town of Dudley to place a ban on single-use plastic bags. So the problem, single-use plastic bags, an item used for storage at store and restaurant checkouts, have proven to be a harmful product for our ecosystem, animals, and even humans. And such problems include, number one, the deaths of animal life through the ingestion of plastic mistaken for food. A lot of times, animals come across plastic bags, they think it's food, they eat it, and as a result, they suffocate and they die as a result. It is a major litter problem in waterways, trees, and roadsides. In concern for waterways, plastic bags will eventually biodegrade into smaller microplastics. And a lot of times when they're caught in the water, they float to the top because they're the same density as water, and they just stay there for a long time, and it's very difficult to clean it up. They oftentimes get caught up in tree branches and trees, perhaps even animals' homes in trees, because they are blown away by the wind, and they're very aerodynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes they're seen as litter on the roadsides all around the town. The chemicals in the bags are also linked to various illnesses in humans, and even in some cases could be linked to cancer. Some examples include PAHs and PCBs. They're known as hormone disruptors, which can lead to liver issues, gallbladder issues, and even brain and breast cancer. The lack of the ability for the material to biodegrade also poses a problem, as it takes about 200 years for a plastic bag on average to fully biodegrade. That means it's going to stay in whatever part of the ecosystem it's in for 200 years, and that's probably about 2 or 3 of our lifetimes. So it's a very long time. These items are also rarely recycled and thus wasted. It's estimated that approximately only 3 to 5% of single-use plastic bags are actually properly recycled. The rest is wasted in trash, or they get littered, caught up in our ecosystem. And they're also a great contributor to climate change through the burning of oil and natural gas. When these single-use plastic bags are produced, it requires the burning of oil and natural gas, which emit CO2 in the atmosphere. They produce a greenhouse gas effect, which over time heats the earth and causes the numerous problems we hear about on the news and all over today. So what do we need? Due to the alarming amount of negative effects, the town of Dudley must act to ban these products, following the same model that Auburn, Massachusetts, along with 140 other Massachusetts municipalities have also taken. And if you look on the other sheet that I gave you that's from the town of Auburn, Massachusetts, this is actually the plastic bag ban bylaw that they enacted. They passed this 2 years ago. It was implemented in 2021, a little delayed because of COVID, but it still did what it had to do. And this is probably the most recent example we've seen in Massachusetts of this ban. And basically what Auburn did is exactly what I want to do. So if you look on that town of Auburn, Massachusetts sheet, down the bottom it says, below are some highlights you need to know about the new bylaw and some key definitions. So it basically states that the bags that are restricted are the following: single-use plastic carryout bag, and it defines what that is. It goes into what a reusable bag is and what is allowed. It also lists numerous some exemptions of this law, which would include but not limited to dry cleaning bags, produce bags, or bags at the meat/seafood counters. So those would still be allowed. It's mainly those single-use plastic bags used at the checkout. And retail establishments would be strongly encouraged to remind their customers to bring and use reusable shopping bags for their businesses at their stores, and whatsoever way they wish to do that will be up to the business. So there are various benefits that the town could get and people as a whole could get from banning these products. Number one is reduce energy usage and reduce waste. Two, it could spur the market for reusable bags. It could reduce cleanup costs, and businesses can actually save money and lower prices. And the rationale behind that is, if businesses don't have to pay for these plastic bags, and the majority of residents in the town decide to use cloth reusable, which is the primary bag that you want to use. Even though these businesses would have to pay for paper, they would have to pay for it less frequently. And if the majority of residents in the town use their cloth reusable bags, then the businesses won't have to make up so much for that lost profit they would have had purchasing those plastic bags. And prices can actually lower, and people can save even as much as $30 per year, as the price of goods could go down. In Massachusetts, there are 140 municipalities which have enacted plastic bag restrictions, and the town of Dudley should follow suit. We're entering a new environmental era where we must take great caution to our current practices and promote a sustainable future for current generations and the ones to come. The town of Dudley should ban plastic bags to take one step closer to that sustainable future, to fill in that one piece to the larger puzzle. And I'm here today to ask for the Board of Health support and endorsement of this provision, and to help me get this on the ballot for the May 23rd town annual elections. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to questions or comments or anything, I was given a statement from someone who could not attend, and I was asked if I would read this and put it in. So this was dated today to the Dudley Board of Health from Lisa Berg regarding Joseph Garagno plastic bag ban. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend your meeting this afternoon. This memo is in lieu of my presence in support of Joe Garagno and his efforts to place a ban on plastic bags in the town of Dudley. There are many good reasons for a ban on plastic bags. Here are just a few. They cause pollution. Just attend the annual Earth Day here in Dudley and you will see many along the sides of roads, in woods, and stuck in trees. They are also in our ponds and lakes. They are killing our wildlife. They are made of fossil fuels. They are not biodegradable. We need to take care of our environment, and what better place to start but our own town. There are some cities, towns, and businesses who charge you for each plastic bag you use to help deter their use. I'm assuming she means paper bag. Although this lessens the amount used, it does not fix the problem I have mentioned above. It is my understanding that there are over 100 cities and towns in Massachusetts that have passed this ban, and some even have made it a bylaw. I commend Joe for caring enough about our town, our environment, and its future. I support him 100% with this effort to ban all plastic bags in town and hope this board will as well. So, so I'm gonna start, do you have questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Do you have any questions for him?
I do not.
Okay. I have just a couple questions. Have you, let me start off by saying this is definitely, I completely agree with where you're coming from. That being said, I have a few questions and then a couple comments. Have you thought about encouraging people to return the bags back to the store? I know where, I don't remember where I've been, but they have where you can bring back your plastic bags.
So that is an option, but overall, people, they don't. And as I said before, only between 3 and 5% of those bags are recycled, whether it's at those stores or elsewhere. And I think more of the issue was just these bags being around in particular. Because if people have access to them, and as I said before, a lot of times they're just wasted. So it's just ending up in our ecosystem, and it's just having the presence of it in general, I think, is just having a negative effect.
And then, so if a store does this, they're basically putting, unless you bring your reusable bag, your recyclable bag, they're putting the cost back onto the consumer as they're charging 10 cents. Like I know where I grocery shop, if you don't bring your reusable bag, it's 10 cents per paper bag, which that's fine. I bring my bags, not a big deal. I have concerns with the way the world is today. If you had come a year ago, it'd be a different story. The way that everything is increasing right now, I know it's only 10 cents. We have a large elderly population in town. We have Joshua Place, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and I know they shop at Park and Shop, and I've seen them walking with their plastic bags on their arms. I'm just concerned, and I'm hoping that they would, remember to bring their reusable bags. And then the paper bags, at least the ones I've had to purchase, they're made of recycled paper, which is great. But I don't know if you've ever tried to carry anything in them.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are just, and again, that's just because of the town that we're in. We have Joshua Place, we have Park and Shop right there. Just questions, concerns, just throwing stuff that's crossed my mind out there. And then, so I looked through this while you were speaking. So obviously, if there's a violation or something, it's enforced by the Board of Health. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have questions, comments, concerns? And then I'll go back.
I just, thank you for doing this, because I
Absolutely.
agree 1,000%. I drive up and down, I call it Tufts Hill Road, because I was born and raised here in Dudley too. And it drives me insane, the amount of trash that's just on that one road, in the bags that get stuck in the trees. So I commend you. And I'm one of those people too, that I've tried to make a conscious effort of using my reusable bags, the plastic ones,
Yeah,
not the
whichever.
grocery store bags, but. And on occasion when I've forgotten them, literally I've just taken my cart full of stuff out.
I've done that too.
Item by item, put it in my car, because I can't deal with them. They're very annoying, I agree. So what if we offered like a senior discount so you know how everywhere you go, you can buy the recyclable bags? What if we offered for our seniors, or the stores would be willing to? Because typically, and I've done it, I probably have 50 of those bags in my car, because I'm like, oh, for $1, I'll just buy it, all right? Have something in place.
That would have to be on the
store.
on the stores. That I understand that, but
Okay.
we have Park and Shop that's in Auburn, and if they're not doing that in Auburn, we have Walgreens.
What are they offering anything in Auburn incentive wise for that? Do you know?
Didn't say anything when I scanned through.
I don't
Okay.
believe so.
I just worry about the small mom and pops, but like Walgreens, Dollar General, I don't know that you're going to get corporate to back something like that.
But I'm sure some of the other towns that have those stores must be let's find out what they're doing.
I know, Southbridge is all you pay, doesn't matter whether you have a bag or not. Not if you don't have a
Yeah,
bag.
if you don't
know
have a
what I mean.
bag,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just know like their dollar store, the Family Dollar,
Mhm.
because I know Southbridge has had this for
A while
3 or
now.
4 years, maybe. I have too many reusable bags from Big Wide account
Yeah,
there, so, yeah.
I mean, it's not awful.
no. But, so, my largest concern is, and this has nothing to do with the environment or anything, my largest concern is it's enforceable by the Board of Health. At this time, I have a Board of Health agent that works 10 hours a week. She hasn't even inspected our restaurants yet. With the housing complaints that we have had due to the COVID and evictions and everything, and inspections and everything, I don't see, I'm gonna let her speak for herself. I don't possibly see that she has any time to enforce or go forward with this. But this is just my opinion.
So I absolutely love the initiative. I'm wondering if, and I know that, 139, 140 other communities, the community I used to work for had a similar plastic bag ban. I think enforcement definitely does become a challenge for these other communities as well. The community I came from, it was, a multi-department effort to kind of conceptualize the regulation or the bylaw, but the enforcement ended up getting put on like weights and measures, or like the part of the inspectional services department that had the capacity to do the enforcement aspect of it. I'm curious if there are any other communities that have more incentive-driven initiatives rather than penalizing initiatives. So similar to what Jen was suggesting, is there a way that, is there something that they can do for businesses that can help entice people to bring in their bags to recycle? And then, again, this is a lot of, it's more than just putting something on paper. It's, making sure that the businesses are also involved, that they have a say in how to help the community as well. Are they able to, reuse or reduce their plastic bags and accept more recycled product? But I think that the enforcement aspect of it right now would be a challenge, because there are other statutory requirements that with 10 hours a week we're not able to get to at this point.
Just one moment. Go ahead.
Could we make it a voluntary? I mean, does there have to be restrictions? Like, again, that incentive sounds really good. Maybe let's make an effort to, we're still a relatively small town with, not a large number of businesses in it, that we couldn't reach out to our Dudley businesses to get some feedback from them, find out other towns. How could we find out what other towns are offering any type of incentives for return backs for their, to bring your recycled bags back to recycle them? So maybe a little bit more investigative homework and some feelers to some of our Dudley retailers to see what's their thoughts on this. I'm sure we all literally agree on the subject.
Oh my gosh, yes. It has nothing, honestly, it has nothing to do with it, because I've done Earth Day for, it'll be 13.
As long as our kids have been in Scouts.
Yeah, I can't tell you how long I've done Earth Day, and I completely agree with you. They're everywhere. It's unbelievable. I'm coming totally from the business, I don't want to say business side, the execution side, because of
The policing side.
yeah.
We had enough with masks.
Yeah, we
Somebody at
struggle.
such and such a place didn't have a mask on. She has serious health things that she needs to be concerned with
Right.
too. So I get.
That's
I
my
understand
biggest
that,
concern, and
yeah.
because I currently she is 10 hours a week in this town, and that it's not a lot. It really isn't a lot if you can consider phone calls, paperwork, inspections, everything that, and I don't want to say fighting, I'm suggesting more hours to the town through the budget, And I'm hoping, but I haven't heard anything what my budget will be for next year, if we will get her for 10 hours or more. So it has nothing to do with not wanting to support it for me. It has to do with the logistics and being able to support it.
So Joe, what about I mean, this is a great effort. What if you took it to the next level and did a little bit more? Could you work with finding out, get a list of businesses, visit those retailers, pitch your story, we all know it's a great one, and see what kind of feedback you can get, whether it's contacts with, corporate through like Dollar General, Dollar Tree. Other towns must be implementing it.
Right.
So what are those towns, those stores that are in those towns, do they have any type of incentive program going for consumers to bring back their bags to recycle and encourage more purchasing of the reusable bags? And maybe it's a good place to start to see what kind of feedback we can
Right.
get.
So were you, and I read through Auburn quick, and I thought I saw that it included takeout?
Yes.
Takeout facilities, okay. Because I know some towns, the takeout is exempt, which I don't understand, I guess, if you're banning it, but I just wanted to make sure that we were, so Amanda could get you a complete list of every business and restaurant in town. And that, Cumberland's and Patriot and everywhere. So that I will have you reach out to Amanda, if you would be willing to, only because, like I said, it's logistics right now. It's all about implementing and.
So if we started with a voluntary program where they wouldn't have to be policing, maybe it's a good first effort to get the Dudley residents to voluntarily start to make a conscious effort to contribute to this concept, which is a great concept.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I do it myself. Like I try to do my part,
If I do get plastic bags anywhere, I can tell you that my dad uses them in his trash.
Oh yeah.
And they
Recycle,
get,
reuse, but anyway.
we try, but not everybody
Right.
does that, and they throw them out the window, and
There
so.
are a lot of good reasons for
Oh, absolutely.
not tabling this, maybe just see what else we could do, what other avenue, like maybe from a voluntary basis then, from the businesses as well as the residents of Dudley. We have a page, we have a Town of Dudley page, let's get something up on the page, getting people's feedback on this, getting a list of the businesses and reaching out to them. I mean, you'll get help and support from us, as much as you need it, letters of support or however we can help, but I think at this point, I agree, it's
Yeah.
probably the best we can do at this point.
So we do have a comment from, if you can come up and just identify yourself. You can go to the podium or the table, wherever you'd like. We're very informal.
Hi, my name's Mary O'Grady. I live in Dudley. Standing right behind Joe. Hi, Joe. Joe and I had a little chat before he started. I commend you very much, Joe, on your efforts to try to improve the environment that we're in. I think we all agree that we want to protect the environment. I don't think there's any question about that. No sane person wants to see trash and litter all over the place. So that said, I think, and you identified a couple of other problems. First was trash, then you went into the manufacturing end of it. You went into the animal ingestion problem. But I think if as I'm looking at this, it's basically, the problem is the end use. The problem is not the bags themselves being used, because they do work for things sometimes that paper won't. It's where the bags end up. And like you were saying, trying to get voluntary cooperation, that's where I think we as a town can be more creative than these 140 other towns who just slap a rule down and think they solved the problem when they don't. I have friends in Auburn and Shrewsbury, and they ask me to save plastic bags for them so they can use them for their trash. So I bring a wad of plastic bags every time I go see them because they can't get them. So it's not that there's no demand for it. And like you said, your father uses them for trash, which is what I use them for. They fit perfectly. And whoops. Anyway, so in that sense, if I didn't have them available for trash, I'd have to go out and buy heavier plastic bags for my trash. So what's the solution there? Still making plastic bags. I like the idea of the incentive, and as I was mentioning to Joe, I prefer the carrot over the stick method. I like the idea. Hometown Bank, when they, I think, had an open house, had these wonderful bags, insulated zip-up bags, which I still have and use, and they're easy. They fold up, and you got them in your car. I like the idea of trying to get the alternative through a positive means rather than just a quick fix and thinking we're solving the problem. If the bags were not hanging from the trees or in the waterways, they wouldn't be the problem they are. So the problem is partly behavioral. And maybe passing a law is trying to change people's behavior, but I think we could be more creative about how we go about that. I like the idea of, why don't we have units in elementary school? Don't leave your litter around. And like I mentioned to Joe, how many masks have you seen on the ground?
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. Nobody bans masks, right? But to me, masks are an even bigger problem right now because they are everywhere. And the elastic on the mask, if it gets, in the water and a fish gets caught in it, they could choke. So there are animal problems with disposal of trash no matter where we go. So I would love to work with you on trying to come up with some ways to solve this problem in creative ways. I think Dudley could be more creative than other towns in doing that. And I commend you again for trying to solve the problem, and I'd be happy to work with you in whatever way I can. But I would encourage the more carrot approach rather than the stick approach, and I think it'll be more long-lasting and better PR. Mm-hmm. And I just hope we can kind of work in that direction to solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
No, I agree. Joe, your research is good. You've done an amazing job. Trash is a huge problem, as we all know, and the definitely. And I tend to like to take the approach, again, this is just me speaking, not for the board, of see what else we can do before we bring down, like with the masks, I'll just use that as an example. When the state released the mask mandate, we didn't keep a mask mandate in town. We continually reminded people, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance, but because we just felt that we'd get a better response, and people had been told for so long, you have to wear your mask, you can't do that. So we like to take a different approach mm-hmm. sometimes, and I do like the idea of reaching out and let's see, if businesses can come up with an idea, and I don't know,
it's a good place to start.
Absolutely.
Start there and then keep this process going and get some feedback from the schools.
Absolutely, and that's it.
If you bring in plastic bags to some businesses, we know they can be reused for other purposes to line, maybe the schools in their small trash cans can start using these bags. Like get them from a retailer and bring them in, and the custodians can start reusing these bags in small trash cans instead of buying the specific trash bags. Just run some thoughts through.
And the education or retraining of do not litter.
That's true.
You see these on the side of the road. How difficult is it when you're done? I mean, you go through any drive-through, there's trash. Mm-hmm. Or when you recycle. Yeah, when you go in your house, bring it in. I don't understand the mentality of out the window, but it is out there. Yeah. We see it all too much.
So Earth Day, you should come to our Earth Day and
Absolutely.
Be there. So you've got till April, come up with some type of board or a presentation or a presence to be there. And as people are bringing, whether it's a flyer, like there's a good time to initiate your incentive. Like let's
Absolutely.
take advantage of Earth. We're gonna be down at the Town Highway Department. So come on down.
What's the date?
April 26th.
Hold on.
23rd, yeah.
It's bad, there's too many things.
We did it our Saturday.
April 23rd.
Yeah.
8 to 12, and that's
At the town the highway garage.
Right, and that's where we try to educate people. We've had in the past, we've given out some reusable bags that say, I love the earth, just to try to encourage people, reduce, reuse, recycle. You know, that's our, so, I support your effort. At this time, I can't endorse it as, I feel as the Board of,
You're presenting it.
as the Board of Health, we can't just, we'd like to try taking a few other approaches first. And again, it does stem down to poor Camille having 10 hours a week, and I want to keep her for those 10 hours a week. You know, but I definitely, if we work together with the businesses in the community, I hope we can come up with a good solution.
So yeah, I'm open to the incentivization option. I'm just want to know specifically what we can all do to make it work then, because even though I'm the one presenting it, I will need help.
Oh, absolutely,
I can't do it all myself.
absolutely.
We'll support, however, like, we could schedule a brainstorming.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I
right.
can't. Yeah, and she's willing. I apologize. I already forgot your name. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Mary. Thank you. Sorry. Just, you know, definitely, we can get together and you gonna make it.
I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
It's allergy season too.
I just, you know, I'm sure if we all think about it, we can come up with some ideas. Just, nothing's popping in right this minute. But
Well,
definitely.
let's start with getting a list of the businesses and retail, and then let's brainstorm on some ideas that we could give them, like incentives for the consumer to bring their bags, and then what can we do with those bags from there?
Yep.
Can we find a recycling facility, or how can the consumers or businesses reuse those bags in some way? Again, custodial, I take them at my salon, I use them in our trash at my salon. I go through 6 trash bags a day, because I have 6 little trash bags at my pedicure and manicure station, so we recycle as much as we can. Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. We just wanna make sure you're gonna make it.
I'm gonna make it.
So, I'll have you reach out to Amanda. Either you can come and see her, call her, or email her, whichever. She'll get you the name of the businesses. I would say, you know, like I know, start with the bigger businesses right now. Contact them, see, you know, see if they're willing to work with us and be more of, we'd like you to do this, you know, without passing a law or bylaw or regulation and monitoring of you, you know, start with that. Yes.
Do we wanna put this on for another meeting?
We can
or-
put it on for the next meeting, absolutely,
So in the next month,
which is the next
and
meeting
we can share
is-
emails and have a running email where if some of us come up with
We can email Amanda.
Amanda, and
Yep.
Amanda can
Yep.
relay messages.
Yep.
Thank you, Amanda.
When's our next meeting?
It's Tuesday, the 19th of April.
That's right.
I am not
Isn't that
around.
vacation
You're
week?
not here.
Yes, it is vacation week.
Okay. So, do we wanna do before or after? Doesn't matter to me at this point.
I mean,
It's all on you.
12th is bad for me.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's not sounding very good.
I think the 26th will work,
Okay.
if we could do the 26th.
Yeah, we'll just put it
I
in.
will try to move some appointments around.
That's right, I remembered you weren't gonna, Camille had said she was not gonna be here. Okay, so our next meeting will be April 26th at 4:40-ish. It's officially posted at 4:30, but sometimes she runs late and that's fine. We're very easygoing.
So.
So definitely would love to have you back, because this is not something that we just wanna say no. It's something we'd like to work towards, it's just, we have to figure a way to do it. Does that sound good to you?
Yep.
Okay,
So I would get in contact with Amanda first about that.
absolutely, yep. She's here, Monday through Thursdays all day, and Friday till 3. Or I can, if you want the office number, I can give you the office number.
I believe I do have her phone number. I've called her once.
Perfect. So you can call her, email her, stop in and see her, whatever you'd like to do. Okay?
Okay, because, yeah, I will need a lot of help getting this,
Yep.
done, this initiative.
Absolutely. No, I think you're coming from a great place. We all agree with that, so we definitely.
Very great suggestions, you
Yes,
know,
thank you.
You put it so
Yeah. And
perfectly.
what we also can do is put something out there that if other people are interested in helping, getting involved, they can contact Amanda at the Board of Health office, and Amanda, could you get something on Facebook, our Facebook page tomorrow regarding that?
Absolutely.
Because I do know some people who are also willing to work, as you said, Lisa Berg.
Right.
I know the town treasurer does.
Okay.
The town clerk.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure, and Lisa told me there was a couple others she didn't know, but
Yeah.
if I could get people within the town to work with me, then
Absolutely. What we'll do is we'll put it out there that if they want to become involved, they can contact the Board of Health office. We can get a list of everybody involved, and then you can have, if more than one of us attends, we'll have to post a meeting.
Okay.
But if it ends up due to schedules, only one of us can attend, then we don't have to post a meeting. But you'll have somebody, we'll make it work. We'll get something going. Absolutely. So yeah, if you don't mind putting something on Facebook saying if you want to be involved, please reach out within the next week. Or by like April, what are we, 12th, 15th? So by like.
Today's the 15th.
Oh, okay. By like March 25th.
March 25th.
Give them 10 days if they want to, right?
Yeah, by that Friday, or you wanna do the 29th, give them 2 weeks, or?
Oh, give them
just
2 weeks, the
2 weeks,
29th.
like the 29th.
Just so that we,
Yeah.
I mean, more people can come on if they want, but at least this will give us a starting point. But in the meantime, grab the businesses from her.
think
At
this
least
is
you'll have a list and be able to see where they are, and we'll put that out there. And can you follow up with Lisa tomorrow?
I'm not in tomorrow, but I will
Oh,
do
that's right.
Thursday.
Can you follow up with, yeah.
Yes.
So,
And Amanda's list gets longer and longer.
she loves us. So, does that sound good?
Yep.
Excellent, great.
We're gonna back you with this. I love it. I would love to see them all go away, but I think at this point, we don't need to police people on,
No,
we could do this creatively and to benefit the town,
I think
definitely.
it's a good way. And then,
Yeah.
it might help with other things too.
Mhm.
People might decide, so we appreciate it. We look forward to working with you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Joe.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes, thank you, Mary.
Okay, up next, discussions of Earth Day and Bike Rodeo. So, just an update, Earth Day is, we said, and that's going forward, and we're working on everything, and things will be ready to go. It's gonna be fun and exciting, and we already have, St. Anthony's has reached out. They have given us some locations that they have groups cleaning up. If any group is interested, please contact the Board of Health office, via email or phone or Facebook page.
I wish could we do a challenge again? Like, didn't we have like some incentives last year?
We
for
had
the kids?
prizes. So we are going to have some prizes. We'll probably have 3 prizes. We'll go with 3 prizes. And everyone who comes and participates in Earth Day
Right,
will put their name in a drawing, and there'll be other little tchotchkes things,
Yeah,
that
fun
we always,
stuff for
we
the
always,
kids. Yeah, we like to
and
do
some
this
other
stuff.
stuff. So we'll take care of that, and it'll be fun, and so your name will be entered into a drawing, and we'll do it Facebook Live at the end. We'll draw the names. Dudley, the new Dudley the dog will be there.
The new and improved.
Yes, so that'll be exciting, and that will be Dudley's debut, so looking forward to that. Bike rodeo. So since the last time, I did speak with Sergeant Poplawski, and we are looking at the possibility, we ruled out the school due to a couple things.
Conflicts?
Yeah,
Okay.
so he had suggested Nichols College as they're out of school by then. So I'm working with a contact at Nichols and trying to see if we can find a parking lot to have it in, and also have an adjacent or close by lot for people parking. Because we wanna have the entire parking lot for the bike rodeo, have the fire trucks, police cruisers, ambulance, all of that up there. I did tell Sergeant Popowski about the meeting today. He was unable to make today's meeting, but he said he will get here to one of them. But I do keep in base with him just to let him know, so that if he has any questions or concerns. So I'm working on Nichols right now.
Okay.
We'll see. I have no definite yet, but I'm hoping by the next meeting to have a definite, because of the dates.
Huge.
Yeah.
I did speak with my contact at Boston Children's Hospital. So I gave her the 2 dates of June 11th and June 25th from 1 to 4. Location to be determined. I thought we would have an answer by tonight. So I will, I told her by tomorrow I will get back to her to let her know that we still don't have a date. They reserved it. They put both dates down for the town of Dudley. They will come, but they need a place to park their van and set up their table. They take over the helmet part of it. So they will provide the helmets, and I did say we still have some left from last year.
Yep.
They will bring helmets in their van. They will drive here. They do all the fittings and the helmets. So pretty much,
Okay.
if you think your child needs a helmet, wait, because there's an opportunity to get a free one.
Absolutely. And they're good.
So
nice
they would like
helmets.
to make sure we have space for them. That was her
Absolutely.
one specification, was to make sure there was a place for the van to park and to set up their tables. And I told her, I gave her a rundown of what our rodeo looked like last year. She said that sounds wonderful. So once we know the date, they're
Yes.
on it. They will be here and take care of that.
The woman that I was working with at Nichols has been out. I was out a couple days. She's out a couple days. So we're just
That's fine.
doing phone tag right now. That's why we were looking at Nichols with the larger parking lots, because they have good sized flat parking
Right.
lots, so that we could park stuff and still be able to do the bike rodeo.
I also reached out to a couple facilities. One I'm waiting to hear back from on, remember we talked about getting somebody to maybe come and do like a BMX bike
Right.
kind of.
Right. Oh, I saw that. Yes.
So I just thought it'd be something fun. Maybe it could be like a little 15-minute spotlight, kind of break the afternoon up. The kids could watch something like that.
Mhm.
So I'm working on it. I don't know if it'll be I'll let you know.
We'll try.
So I just thought something to tie in with that.
Absolutely.
The bikes and, getting, BMX was a thing for us
Oh, yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
Coming back around.
Back a little bit, yeah.
coming back around, but yeah, I did make a couple connections. So unfortunately, there is some type of BMX event going on somewhere else that day. But he's like, I'll put some feelers out. So I did make some good connections. I didn't realize there was that many BMX
Good.
people still around. So
Very good.
I'm working on that. I thought that would be kind of.
And as soon as we get the date and location sealed up, I'll have Amanda, once again,
We'll post it.
do a flyer up and post it, and
Yep.
then send it to the schools. That's something else. Did we send the Earth Day flyer to the
Yes, we did.
Marsh? Perfect.
Yep. Give it to the schools, so.
Could you talk to Olivia about getting it on Nichols Radio? She has a contact there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So let's get the Earth Day on there, please, and then once we get the, oh my gosh, bike rodeo, we'll get it out to Nichols as well. So, just to try to get this information out there
I
and
think the more we
advertise
can
as much.
promote it. And can we ask businesses to put up
Absolutely.
flyers?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep. So, I think they're both coming along nicely, and it should be a good turnout, so. Up number 4 is revision to marijuana regulations. So, way back in 2018, I think it was, yes,
Yeah,
before
seems so long
marijuana
ago.
became legal, I remember doing working sessions and kind of throwing together some regulations that kind of mirrored the state. They have not been looked at since then. And we do have some facilities coming to town in the future, the near future. So we needed to, Camille went through them to update and change a few things to make it more pertinent.
Okay. So this is an updated version?
This is, yep, so what you have is the draft updated version, and I can go over the changes. For the most part, the existing regulations that we had in place were very cookie cutter. They're very much based off of the Massachusetts Association of Health Boards template for local communities in Massachusetts to implement these regulations. I do want to specify this is only revising the adult use regulations. We also, the town of Dudley does have medical marijuana regulations. I have not addressed those at this time. Those will be a future revision, I'm sure. So right now we're only focusing on the adult use, but we do have 3 host agreements in place or in the works with the Board of Selectmen's office. And I do know that one of them is looking to do a soft open in the coming weeks. So as part of that process, our existing regulations require a marijuana operating permit. In order to issue someone a permit, we needed to have an application. So it was actually during the development of the application process that I identified some flaws, I guess is the best way to put it, into the regulations. So that's what the edits are today. So on the first page, it's just simply moving the citation for that second to last paragraph. It had been on the very last page of the regulation. I felt like it belonged more on the first page so you knew what court case that it was referring to. Just some grammatical, all of the terms in the definitions are capitalized, and therefore they are capitalized throughout the entire regulation. So that way, anytime throughout the body of the regulation, if you see marijuana product, it's going to be capitalized, and that you know it's a defined term in the in section B. Under marijuana establishment, we are changing the acronym that used to be CNB, which is for the Cannabis Control Commission. It is now referred to as CCC. That change happened. They changed their acronym after all of the local boards of health created these regulations. So just trying to be a little bit more consistent with what the current terminology is. We're referring to Cannabis Control Commission at the Massachusetts level as CCC throughout the regulation. The most important definition was an addition of marijuana operating permit. Definition is a permit issued annually by the Dudley Board of Health allowing operating permit holders to operate a marijuana establishment within the town of Dudley. We already had operating permit holder definition, but we didn't have the actual permit in and of itself. The reason that mattered was under section D of the regulation, it goes over this marijuana operating permit. And it was specifically, it wasn't identifying all marijuana establishments. So under the existing regulations, the language spoke to no person shall operate, or no person shall sell, cultivate, deliver, or otherwise commercially distribute marijuana or marijuana product. That does not incorporate manufacturing, but the definition of marijuana establishment incorporates all the different types of operations that they can be doing. Exactly. So it's more encompassing to refer to it as a marijuana establishment that kind of incorporates all of it. Some of them was just, again, just moving some language around. So rather than having section D1 subset A that deserved its own number, so we just moved that around a little bit. Section D5 is an addition. This is part of some other communities' regulations as well for requiring, as the application process, a detailed waste disposal plan. This is something that they should already have on file. It's something that they're required to submit to the CCC through their state licensing process. It's important for us to know how are they disposing of, how are they washing anything, is it going down the drainage system, is it going into a private septic? So being able to have that, as well as what is the security for your dumpster, stuff like that. So we wanted to be able to incorporate that. It's only if there's a change in that plan or your initial, but for annual renewal permits, they don't need to submit that unless there were any changes. Part 6 was just simply moving that section. It had previously been under the compliance with all other laws section. I felt like it was better fitted under the marijuana operating permit because, again, it talks about the application process of having a security plan reviewed. And I believe that's it, because everything else was just simply changing making sure that the terms in the body of it reflect the defined terms throughout the regulation.
So basically, you clarified the marijuana operating permit as the facility itself, and then the operating permit holder, the person.
Or the entity that holds that
Holds
permit.
that, yes.
Exactly. And then having that really point back to marijuana establishment as the entity. Exactly.
Thank you very much for
You're
doing this.
welcome.
There's a lot of,
Yeah.
it's
There's a lot of
great.
nuance to it.
No, it's great. And I remember we went through these, we had meeting after meeting after meeting trying to put something together, and it was, because it was all brand new.
It
and
was.
So I'm so happy that you have the thing in there about the disposal and the dumpster. Those were
Yeah.
concerns, like, you know, you
Those
don't
are
want just
things-
throwing the stuff out there and somebody being able to go.
Surprisingly, I guess you learn from experience, because in my previous community, we had a newspaper article written about a local establishment that dumpster got broken into.
See, those were my,
So it's good ways to know that, A, for both security plans and your waste disposal.
But the state has something in place.
Correct. Yep.
You just weren't aware of it.
Correct. They just didn't provide us a copy as the local Board of Health with what your plan was. And so, of course, when something happens, the first people to go to is the local community rather than going to the CCC. So
Absolutely.
we, wanted to be able to say, oh yes, we're aware, we have, we've approved these plans, and it all goes into that.
So
this is great.
is it like a general across the board disposal system for?
Nope.
these facilities?
So it depends on
Depends
what
on
they're
what they're
doing. If they are manufacturing any edibles, then how are they washing their pots and pans? Is that going into a grease trap and into the sewer system? Is that going into a private on-site septic? If they are simply, I believe they can also mix it with kitty litter or something that would then make it not usable if
Right.
they were to actually physically dispose of it in a trash or incinerator type situation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is accept these.
I make a motion to accept the revised regulations made by our health inspector, Camille.
Okay, I'll second that. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the regulations? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Quick question on the subject of marijuana.
Yes.
Do you have to inspect the facilities?
I do.
Oh, would you? I would just love, I
Yes.
just like seeing inspections.
I miss out on all this stuff.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely, shoot us an email when you're going to, just because you might be free, you never know.
Mondays, I'm off on Mondays.
I just think it's interesting, and it gives us an understanding of the background too.
Absolutely, yeah. And depending on what they're doing, I feel like every facility is different. You have some that are just simply the retail storefronts that are much more simple. You focus more on the security and what, making sure that they have the appropriate, they're IDing individuals before they're coming in. Or are we going into a cultivation where they have, the greenhouse and all of the lights and humidity, and it's a very scientific process.
Well, that's what I think. It's very interesting, and
Yeah.
I just, again, it's something.
I learned from the establishments, definitely. They teach me every time I go into one of them to learn
awesome.
something new about
Well,
their
yeah. How
operation.
can you? So that would just absolutely. And it's.
So there will
It's
be
not that we don't trust you at all, because we don't have a clue. We're just very
absolutely,
intrigued.
yes. So there should be a pre-op inspection similar to how we do a food establishment. So they'll apply for a permit. I'll do the inspection and say, "Yep, you're good to go. Here's your permit." And then part of the regulations that were pre-existing is 2 unannounced inspections per year.
Well, that's good. I like that. Okay.
Very exciting.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, COVID protocols discussion, and public health nurse. Ro could not be here this evening, so I know that COVID is slowing some, dare I say. And really, it's been quiet since the last meeting. Nothing has changed. We're done with clinics. And just as an FYI, I will put out there that we do still have free test kits to any resident in Dudley. I would just suggest that you call the Board of Health first. Make sure that she's there. It's 1 per household. She will take your license from you and record it. We're trying to be fair. We did do a mass outgiving.
Right.
And, but there are still, so if you'd like to, just call first, just to be sure that Amanda's there.
So they can come, what, once a week, once a day?
It's
or
just one per household.
So if you already got one at the last.
If you've already got
pickup.
one,
Okay.
right, we just are trying
Just
to.
to clarify that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We're just trying to get it out there for everyone that,
If you
know,
didn't make it here the last,
absolutely, we still have some,
opportunities,
you know,
yeah, right.
and let us know, and we're more than happy. All you need is to show that you're a Mass resident, a Town of Dudley resident, sorry. There's a lot going on in this
Yeah.
brain today, sorry.
I hear you.
All right, up next, health agent report.
So the past month, I've been working on these marijuana regulations, so I've been working to revise those. I would like to add that last Monday, we had a regional public health nurse start, and today we had our regional epidemiologist start, yesterday she started. So that's really exciting. They're both very eager to figure out how we can help contact tracing, and as well as because the state has, morphed what contact tracing is in the time that we had this grant opportunity. Both individuals are super excited to see how they can help all the local boards of health in any way, COVID and.
So maybe we could get them to come to a meeting sometime, just to introduce themselves so that we're.
So Alyssa is the public health nurse. She lives locally. She's in Worcester. Brianna, who is the epidemiologist, does live in New York, so she is working mostly remotely.
That's fine.
But I'm sure we can absolutely have her call in or
Absolutely.
participate at our next board meeting.
Absolutely.
So I will
Just,
let them know. Absolutely.
so that we can extend
So
our
Brianna
happiness.
and
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yeah. Yeah, and they both seem fantastic so far, so we're excited about that. Regionally, we also extended an offer to a candidate for a full-time regional health inspector. We are waiting to get his signature back. We sent him the offer letter this morning, so I'm eager to hear back from him. He should be, his availability is to start within the next week or so.
Oh, that's good.
So,
very good.
yeah, he will require some training. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he is very eager to learn and seems like he will be a fast learner. So I'm happy to take him out, both shadowing me both here in Webster, or
Beautiful.
here in Dudley and in Webster as well.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so we're excited.
That will help.
And lastly, I did hear back from the summer internship program. We did not get a candidate. Okay. So there are a couple other opportunities that I'm trying to look into to see if we can recruit like an undergrad intern for
Anything
the summer.
we can.
But I am still in the process of reaching out for
There I go
local
again.
Great.
universities.
It's post-nasal drip, guys.
It's okay.
That's it.
Okay. I have one quick question for you.
Sure.
Was it Laurie?
Yes.
Okay. Would she be someone that we could put Joe in contact with? I just, as you were talking, I'm like, I wonder if she would be.
Yeah, so I can definitely bring this up to her. 'Cause
Yes,
again,
please.
she's a community health coordinator. I think she could definitely assist. I don't know if she has the capacity to take the lead on it right now, but I can definitely
Any
bring it up to her.
information or anything might be.
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be good.
Absolutely.
Reach out to her.
Sure.
Just happened to pop in.
Yeah, I was thinking of that when he mentioned, having kind of a committee to organize and brainstorm, definitely.
Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No,
You-
I don't.
You,
right now.
you okay?
I'm good.
I don't want to.
No, I'm good.
All right, up next is approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve our minutes from the February 22nd, 2022 meeting.
I second the motion. Any discussion? Nope. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, up next, public or board comments. We have no more public, so. Amanda, do you have anything you want to add about anything that's going on? I really forget to ask you, and I apologize. Everything
It's
good?
okay.
There's no problems?
No
Okay,
issues going on right now. Everything's going well.
very good. Anything you'd like to?
No, I think we covered a lot of good.
I think we had a very
My
good.
brain is already trying to help Joe too, because
I know.
I think as a town, we could really take this, and do something good with it.
Yep, and I think that it will lead to other things,
Mhm.
not just, which will benefit everything. That's, I think, would be very good. So, well, seeing nothing else, we have the date of our next meeting, so we're
Yep.
good.
I make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
I have a motion, I'll second that, sorry. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting closed at 5:40 PM.